Alright, so double page spread. I'm going to put a design onto this, and I've got this sitting out on my desktop here. And let me just go here. It's a report from one of the students from a couple of years ago. Well, a couple of years ago, 2009. So here's the PDF. It's got trims. The only thing that's kind of annoying is it doesn't have bleed, so I've just got to be a bit careful about that when I bring it in. I'm just going to be. Let me just open this up into Acrobat, and let me just go to there, and I'm just going to bring this into the document. But let me copy and actually not copy and paste. I'm in of course in Acrobat, can't copy and paste. So to get this into Photoshop, I just need to open. You can go to place as well. The difference being, of course, is if you place, you don't get an option to place as the different versions. So let's just go. Where am I? Sorry, G. Grab that and open that up. And just before I open this up, of course, I've just got to remember what size my document is. And it was around about A3, which is obviously slightly smaller than this. So opening this up at A3 will be big enough. And again, I'm going to be choosing the second page here. So let's just open that up. And of course, what it does is it will have any transparency that comes from InDesign through Acrobat as a PDF. Well, it does. It just comes through as transparency, so it's not white. It's not the page. It's actually transparent. So what I'm going to do go to the layer palette, and I'm going to go to flatten image, and that will turn that white again. So, and I'm going to copy that. Then go back to this document, and of course it's going to be bigger, he said. And as you can see, trim marks there and all that sort of stuff. But I'm very simply just showing you this, just to give you an indication of how, let's just sort of pull this out to about this point here, how this document would look if I didn't decide to manipulate it in any way. So I'm just going to go OK to that and go to multiply. And that's what it looks like. I mean, of course, we've got bits of stuff hanging over the edge there, but as you can see there, particularly in this area up the top here, let me zoom in, that natural curve there, the curve that's happening there because of the page, obviously, is it's not taken advantage, when we've got that type here. So I need to sort that out. And the way to sort this out is a little trick. I mean, I've done lots of photo retouch. And it's only since sort of working with the college that I've been doing a lot of photo retouch in regards to this. But I've figured out a system which will help to lay things out and not have to rely on your eye so much. And the way to do this is, first up, zoom in as tight as possible to the document that you're going to be laying stuff onto, and then take a screenshot. I'm just going to take a focus screenshot. So I'm going to hold down Command-Shift-4, and that allows me to drag selection screenshot. I'm then going to go to Illustrator, yes, Illustrator, and then go to File and Place, and then the screenshot is on the desktop, place that, and of course it's huge, that's fine, doesn't matter what size it is, I'm just going to reduce it down anyway, so it's a little bit more manageable within the page there, and while I'm at it, I'm just going to lock that down, Command-2. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to very simply get the pen tool, turn white off, black stroke is fine, and I'm going to trace the edge of the page here. So I'm just going to start by just dragging a handle there, then go up to the top of this curve, and then I tend to use the Shift key even with sort of abstract objects, like non-geometric objects like this. So we just do that, and that's pretty good. Let me just size the stroke down anyway, just to make sure it's not too bad. Let me just zoom in as well. Pays to be sort of relatively accurate with these things. It's not totally important to be perfect with it. It's not like you're tracing a logo or anything like that. I am going to turn smart guides off because they do get in the way sometimes. So Command U to turn smart guides off, and then I'm trying to reconnect and keep tracing that, and of course it's not allowing me to do it. So I'm going to have to delete that and then click back on the path and then restart the path again. So that should be good. And see how that page sort of comes down to that point there. So let's just trace it. Let's just go to this, and there's that part of the path. Sorry, that tracing of part of the this particular document. So I'm not going to do the size. I'm going to go straight down to the bottom now. point to remember is I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points that I've drawn here. So I need to do exactly the same thing down the bottom. So let's start, I think it's around about there. Click here. Oh, by the way, I held down the command key and clicked delete to just make sure that I had nothing else selected. So I'm going to click there, and let's just draw there, 3, and I'm just going to make sure that that curve is perfect. Cancel that handle, and let's go to there, 4, 5 is the final point. So that should be fine. That's all I need to do with that. Now, this is the trick. Why am I doing this? Here's the trick. I'm going to select both those paths so I can see what I'm doing, and I'm going to go to the blend tool. Now with the blend tool, double clicking on the blend tool and not using smooth color, but using specified steps, 8's probably not enough. I'm going to go to 20 and then click OK, and then simply click on 2 corresponding points. So that one there and that one there will give me effectively how this perspective and the fold on this brochure, how the lines are basic, so how I can align the type with this really effectively, I think. So, if I do say so myself. So what I'm going to do now is just copy that out, then go back into Photoshop and paste, of course. Now paste as pixels is fine because we're just going to enlarge it. Logically it's going to enlarge, so let me just bring this up in size, and then what I'll do is I'll just align points, because that point there is not the corner, but it's actually that one there. So you'll have to go to and fro with this one. It's not going to be work straight away. So yeah, let's see, move that up. I mean, that's pretty close right there. It's going to be slightly pixelated, so it's not going to be perfect, but as soon as I hit enter, that will now be a perfect representation of how you should be distorting your pages when you bring them in. So I'm just going to call this perspective grid. Perspective, spell it right because someone else might see it. And then I'm just going to, I'm not going to lock it down, I'll just leave it there. So again, I need to go back to the document that I opened up before. Now, this particular document has bleed and crop, as I said before, and that's a good thing to have, because it allows you to move things in and out and not sort of see an edge of page appear or whatever. So let's copy this again and then go back into this. Now, this doesn't have a path. That's the only problem with this. And because it doesn't have a path, we can't paste into. So what I'll do is I'll just pause this record, and I'm going to create a path not for one page but both pages with this. Because we want, because I've just gone and copied and pasted this, but what I should have done is just selected one page. So let me pause this, I'll come back and I'll show you what I've done. Actually, what I've just decided to do, I'm just in the middle of doing this and I've just realized that maybe I shouldn't come back with this completed. But what I should do is just show you how I'm tracing this path, because there will be little sort of inconsistencies and areas that are not quite right. So you can see that I'm zooming into, like for instance, 400% now, just to make sure that this is pretty spot on, and then I'm just sort of going over that again to make sure that that looks okay. Yeah, maybe what I would do with this is probably just add another point and then just drag that out with my command key held down, so that's sort of none of that sort of white is potentially showing through. That's not right there, so I'm just going to drag that out as well. I mean, you could go around in a sort of reasonably rough fashion and do a basic trace first and then come back, but it's, you know, it's entirely up to you how you handle this. Like for instance, if I just click and drag here and then go to there, now what I'm going to do is go back and zoom out, zoom in, and adjust it afterwards. So where are we? Where's my point? Oh, did I draw a point there? I don't know, there's a big handle. Anyway, and of course that's way out, this one. So let me come to there. So, you know, that's the detail you need. Now, what I'm going to do, again, I'm not going to be overly fussy with this, but you should be. I'm going to keep going and then go up to the top again, and that's we're literally going through the spine of the fold of this particular document, one side. Okay. Now here's the tricky part. I'm going to go into the path menu and go double click on this and call it right page, or yeah, right hand side or whatever. And that's the right page. I'm going to now duplicate that, drag that path down to the upturned page icon to duplicate that. Let's double click on that and call that left page. And of course it's the same one, but now what I'm going to do, because I can't lock this down or turn it off or whatever, but trust me when I do this, I'm going to go to the selection tool. So where are we? Where's the selection tool? Here it is down here. Just go to the direct selection tool and click on that, and see I can just pull that, of course, move that off, and I'm going to delete that, not delete a second time because that will delete the rest of the path, but come back down to there. And I'm just going to delete every single point here except the 2 points that describe the spine there, or the fold. And then there, for the left-hand page, I just have that point there and that point there. Now, that will be a perfect alignment with the right-hand page. I can now go to the pen tool again and keep drawing around on the left-hand side, basically. So. With the same, you know, obviously being very accurate. Let me now pause this and come back when it's finished. Okay, so I've finished both paths, and you can see here, yeah, because it doesn't quite show up very well, even when I zoom in there. There's no kind of differentiation between. Oh, I've just realised that this is actually not a multiple page document. That in fact is just A3 folder to A4. So this is not probably the most appropriate one to use for this. This particular this report, it's A3 folder to A4. This is actually a book with multiple pages. So that's the only problem with this. I'm showing you this based on this. So you know, that's sort of showing that obviously there's other pages underneath there, and I've kind of estimated where that page finishes short, essentially. So it's not going to be a problem unless you have coloured background pages. So if that's the case, you'll need to sort of continue this out all the way and colour the whole thing the same colour. But I'm making this run short because, again, my my example goes to white. It's a white background, in other words. Okay, back to. I've only got a few minutes left for this section. So what I'll do is pause it here. That's how to do the paths. And you know, you can set this document up and use it for other things later on. Let me pause, and the next video is going to be how to get the PDF into here properly.